This is my rank 4 hardcore Ironman, Lydia Kenny. I've spent 30,000 hours building this account, and with just one life, a singular mistake, and it could all be over. For the last 3 years, I've been secretly bossing with a single goal: to obtain every pet in RuneScape. No pets are off limits, not even those lurking in the wilderness. After recently securing my 27th pet, we now have our sights set on completing the Slayer pets once and for all. After recently greenlogging the Abyssal Sire with our Abyssal Orphan that we got on 3,000 kill count, we're now moving on to our next Slayer boss, and that means we're no longer going to be doing our Sire tasks, and we're going to be going back to regular Abyssal Demons. And one of the best methods of killing Abyssal Demons is to use the Venator Bow, and to get the Venator Bow, we need to get 5 shards from the Phantom Muspah. Currently we're sitting at 2 of 5. They're 1 in 100 drop rates, so at 866 KC we are quite dry right now. And so we're going to be going back to the Phantom Muspah, and we won't be leaving until we get 3 more Venator shards. And easy enough, we got our 3rd shard at 910 kill count. Just need 2 more to go. And 14 KC later, we have our 4th Venator shard. Just 1 more until we can head back to Slayer. There's 1,000 Phantom Muspah kill count, and still no 5th shard. But we should be completing the bow in the next 100 or 200 KC if we don't go too dry, which means it's looking like we'll be heading back to Slayer anytime now. And there it happened. We got our 5th Venator shard. It only took 1,138 KC. It's just a little unlucky, but I'm not complaining because the drops are actually pretty good here. You get a significant amount of smithing XP banked, as well as crafting and alchemies and seeds. So not too bad. And then there's the essence drop, which you need for charging the Venator Bow, as well as for saturating the imbued heart. So you do need quite a few kills anyways. If I had gotten lucky on the bow, then I'd probably be coming back here to get extra charges, so at least I won't be going back here anytime soon. And I've also not opened any frozen caches from this grind, so I'm going to be holding on those for probably until I return back to Muspah and start grinding for the pet, and we'll be doing a big opening of all the caches at once the whole grind is complete. But for now, we're going to head back to Slayer, and we're going to make that new Venator Bow and try it out on our Abyssal Demon task. And the Venator Bow is pretty good for Abyssal Demon tasks specifically. I'm getting about 55k Slayer experience and 85k prayer experience per hour, not including the additional prayer experience I'll be getting from Enzold Heads. So I'm probably looking at over maybe 100k prayer an hour. If you include what you bank. So it's a pretty good task, and it's fairly AFK. All you do is sit with Prey Melee on, a bunch of Prey pots and some range pots, and you can just sit here AFK, just picking up ashes and using the spell. Now, it's not as efficient as using Spellbook Swap here and barraging, so that you can still get the Ash spell as well as the DPS from Barrage. But it's a pretty good alternative. You don't have to do any crazy gear swaps to lure the demons, and without getting them to teleport, all you do is just AFK, and they usually bounce to multiple demons. You only have to reposition like a little bit once a few of them die. And yeah, it's a good task. I plan on doing it all the way to 200 mil. I plan on extending it and using Slaughter Bracelets. For now, I'm going to keep it unextended Expedius while I work out these last few Slayer bosses, but long term to 200 mil Slayer, that's my plan, because I'll be getting over 2 to 1 prayer experience per Slayer, and that'll help me get 200 mil prayer when I get 200 mil Slayer and not have to do any additional dragons or anything off task or post 200 mil Slayer. So, and since we're going to be doing a lot of Slayer, we're going to be getting a lot of superiors, especially from all the Abbey demons. And recently they changed how combat achievements work. You no longer need to complete every single task in a tier to get the reward. So we're not too far off the elite tier for combat achievements. And with that tier, we get an improved rate for superiors from Slayer from 1 in 200 to 1 in 150. And there's also a 5% global buff on elite clues, not to mention some other buffs at God Wars and stuff. So I'd like to get at least the elite tier completed for those buffs, and maybe master in the far future. And this is actually my first dragon pickaxe drop from Calfight Queen. It's my first pick since they've added it to the drop table. This isn't my first pick on the account. I do already have one from Callisto many years ago, but I'm going to be getting quite a few extra picks while I work towards this KQ pet. Currently at 4,200 KC and still no pet. But the wine drops and the potato cactus is pretty good, so it's not a bad boss to go dry on. Now that we're going full in on the PVM and Slayer, I'm going to start doing clues, especially since collection log is going to be potentially added to the high scores. I want to start completing clues because that's where I'm lacking on the collection logs. I haven't completed really any clues at all. I do actually have one of the rarest collection logs for clues, the Bloodhound pet, which I got on my 9th master. But after that, I never really did clues anymore. I never really had a reason, but now that collection log is going to become more of a thing. After this mimic, I'm going to be from now on stacking all my caskets, specifically the elites, mediums, and hards. And then we'll be opening them down the line for a bunch of collection logs all in a big burst. Oh my god, I just got the Dago Prime pet. No way. That's sick. That means we've now green logged Dagonoths. At like 1,000 kill count, we've green logged the Dagonoths, all 3 pets. And if you fell for the live reaction, let me know in the comments. I'm recording this a year later. But yeah, that's my 3rd and final Dagonoth pet. And we've now green logged the Dagonoths at 1,000 KC, at 1,000, 1,000, and 1,400 Rex. It's a little bittersweet because I was planning on doing thousands and thousands of this boss because the amount of prayer experience you get from the Dagonoth bones, as well as the significant amount of hard clues. I think I'm just going to keep killing it even though I've green-logged it and just stack a bunch of rings up because I really enjoy this task. I don't really want to remove it from my list. And combat task completed, Prayer Smasher. And there is my first unique from the Grotesque Guardians, the Granite Gloves at 225 KC. This marks the beginning of my next Slayer pet grind. It's a 1 in 3,000 chance from the Grotesque Guardians. It's my final Slayer only pet left. And yeah, hopefully this is a decently quick grind. The reason I saved the Grotesque Guardians for last was that I was expecting this boss to maybe get a buff. It did get a slight buff in terms of the actual fight. During the range phase, you can break the orbs and not take damage anymore. And that's pretty nice change. I think there's a few other changes, but there's nothing to the drop table yet. Unfortunately, this is probably one of the worst drop tables on any Slayer boss. You get a decent amount of smithing banked, but compared to Muspa, it's just abysmal. And I was hoping that maybe this one would get buffed like some of the other Slayer bosses have gotten buffed, but nope. So it's my only one left, and we're going to be hitting 200 mil Slayer at some point, so we got to get this one done before then. And combat task completed, Dusk Till Dawn. Combat task completed, Perfect Zulrah. And another combat task completed, Hispori Speed Chaser. And there's my first Black Tourmaline core. That's the rare drop from the Grotesque Guardians. Pretty useless drop. Use it on the Bandos boots, Great Guardian boots, and they're pretty useless at the moment. And there's 3,500 tasks completed. And that's an additional 700 Slayer points. And a second Black Tourmaline core at 932 KC. And even I have my breaking point. You can only do so much Calfight Queen or Grotesque Guardians before losing your mind. So I've decided to head back to Chambers of Zerich to work towards some other gear upgrades that I'll need for other bosses down the line. And specifically what I'm looking for is the Dragon Hunter Crossbow, which conveniently is the first purple that I got since returning. And that means that when I return back to Slayer, I'll be able to start incorporating Vorkath tasks into my grind. And I've actually done 0 Vorkath on this account, so I actually need everything from there. I've been waiting for the crossbow before even stepping foot there, so now that I have that, we'll start doing our Vorkath tasks, and that means we'll slowly work towards a new pet grind, that being the Vorkath pet. And at this point, I have gotten a little taste of what fun PVM is, and I've decided to go for the Metamorphic Dust. So, no leaving raids until we get our Dusted Omelet. No way! The twisted subscribe button! This is your reminder to hit subscribe if you have not already. I'm waiting. Ooh, that's my first time seeing the green light. It's a nice change from all the purple. Since Chambers of Zerich purples are the least exciting of the 3 raids to open, here's the rest of the 13 purples I got crammed into 30 seconds. Ancestral Hat, Dex, Here you can see the exact moment when I was playing on a trip from my laptop. My laptop's pretty old and slow, so to speed it up I deleted every program except for RuneLite. So there wasn't really an easy way to transfer the photo other than just taking a picture. And if you can't tell from the lighting, that is a arcane. Claws, Dex, Arcane, Arcane, Bulwark, Dex. And here you can see the loot from 100 Challenge Mode Chambers of Zerich Solos. This raid has gone terribly. I have no food, no run, and no hit points. And look at my inventory and tell me what I'm missing. Do you see it? Do you see what I'm missing? I forgot my lance, so I was bopping my warhammer on the melee hand the entire time. And there is the Metamorphic Dust on 121 kill count. I wasn't kidding when I said I'm just gonna do a little side quest and go for the dust real quick. Took about 120 CM raids. We are now done Chambers of Zerich, and we can go back to Slayer. And that is our collection log from Chambers of Zerich. Still missing the Kodai and one Ancestral Killer Kit. And we're going right back to Slayer with a Zuck task, trying to get our Zuck pet. And that's 77 kill count, and no pet still. And since we've been doing a bunch of Calfight Queen hunting for that pet, we've actually banked quite a few grapes, which is enough grapes to get me to 200 million cooking. And that is 200 mil cooking completed. And I believe my 8th or 9th 200 mil. I've lost count, and I'm not going to bother checking, but that's 200 mil cooking completed. And you can see here, this is our food tab. Here's a little sneak peek for the upcoming bank video, but this is my food tab when I completed 200 mil cooking. We have 542,000 Karambwans, almost 200k sharks. We actually used to have 250,000 sharks, so we've gone through about 64,000. Anglers, yeah, there's 20,000 anglers, over 10,000 sea turtles, 11,000 lobsters. You can see all my sturgeon there from 200 mil fishing, which was our previous 200 mil. 200 mil fishing, we banked all the sturgeon, and yeah, we have over 500k, I guess over 1 million total leaping fish in the bank. And another Zuck task, and once again, no pet, 78 KC. I have a feeling you're going to be seeing a lot of Infernal clips in the next video or two. Let me know what KC you think we'll be getting in the Zuck pet. I wasn't kidding when I said I was going to go to Vorkath after avoiding it for the last 6 years and doing all that Hydra instead of Vorkath to make GP, and using the max cape everywhere instead of using the assembler. It's finally time to start the Vorkath grind with our new crossbow. My method for Vorkath to keep it as safe as possible is to just run circles around it. That way I'm not accidentally walking back on a tile that I was on and walking into a bomb. If I just keep running circles, I'll never go over the same tile twice. And there is my Vorkath head at 50 kill count. This is actually my second head. I missed the first clip, but there is the Vorkath veteran task completed. Not too many kills later, we actually got the Dragon Bone necklace, which I don't really have a use for. And there you go. That's another combat task. We are now officially a Vorkath master, according to Jagex. So to all my haters out there who kept saying, go do DS2, go kill Vorkath, we're a master now, so suck it. And there is our first ever Vorkath task completed. So we'll be using our Vorkath head to finally create the Ava's assembler. And we can add the max cape to that and create the max cape assembler. I guess the assembler max cape it's called. And we'll be using that at Chambers of Zerich and I guess other places where we won't really be needing the Ring of Life. So maybe the Inferno or the Fight Caves as well. And there is another combat task completed, into the Den of Giants. And that is actually the task I needed for completing the elite tier. So now we'll have the increased superior rate and the increased elite clue drop rate. And unfortunately, this is not the Calfight Queen pet clip. This is my 5,000th Calfight Queen kill. And nope, still no pet. Zuck task completed. And here's the medium Kindred diary completed. And then the easy Kandarin diary completed. I think I've maybe set a record for the most time played on an account without completing the easy Kandarin diary. We're at over 1,400 days played, and we've just now completed the easy diary. And there is the Kandarin Elite completed. We needed that to get the high increased chance of Ruby Bolts and Diamond Procs at Vorkath. And then back to the Grotesque Guardian tasks, where we now have our third Black Tourmaline Core, 1335 KC. I have a feeling I'm going to be getting quite a few of these. You can see from the first clip, they've gone up quite a bit. They were 1.8 mil. They're now 4.85 mil. So we're making more money now, at least, from the Grotesque Guardians. But this isn't the drop I was hoping for. And speaking of drops I wasn't expecting, here's the Abyssal Dagger from a Abbey Demon. Now this isn't my first Abyssal Dagger from Abyssal Demons. I've actually killed 90,000 demons, so I've gotten 3 daggers thus far. The rest came from Sire. But yeah, these Abyssal Demons, I've been keeping all of the whips, all of the daggers, as well as I've gotten a couple hearts from the superiors here. So it's been a pretty good task for me. And nope, it's not the Grotesque Guardian pet clip. It's 1,500 kill count. Alright, it's time to take a break from Slayer. We're gonna go to Nex. I've decided I want to try to get some Torvo. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of Slayer. I got, what, 80, 90 million Slayer experience still to do, so let's get Torvo so we can hit higher. And I just want an excuse not to kill Grotesque Guardians or Calfights for a little bit. So I had to get all of my key pieces from all of the God Wars bosses, which is no problem. Then I just sent Mass Nex and tried to learn the mechanics for the first time. One of the other things about Nex is there's quite a few combat achievements, and in the Mass world, you get a ton of tasks just from like your first few kill counts. So I've got a bunch of combat tasks completed from Nex, and yeah, the next grind has begun. Oh my god. From a Mass? A Torvo full Helm from a Mass? No way! Oh my god. Nope, that's still a non-live reaction. That if you fell for that again, let me know in the comments. But that is my first drop from Nex, the Torvo full Helm. All masses thus far. I think this one was like a 40 size. It was late at night, so it was maybe 40, 35 people in the mass. But yeah, we got our first drop. Quite under rate for masses, so pretty lucky there. Unfortunately, it's the full helm, so it's not that useful. It's only really useful in raids. And since I'm starting to do a bunch of clues now, I am going to need all the stashes completed. So I spent a day working on the beginner, easy, medium, and hard stashes. Got them pretty much all complete. So now when we get a clue, we can just do it. We don't have to worry about pulling anything from the bank. So that'll make all the clues I'm getting from shooting stars and from PVM a lot easier to do. And there is my second drop from Nex. It's the Torvo Plate Body, which is worth 430 mil. Holy. And that's 2,000 Nex KC completed. Pretty much all masses ranging from 15 to 60 people. And we managed to get 2 items. If you'd like to see the rest of my Nex drops, I've actually already covered those drops in a separate video, my previous video. So either click the video on the screen or the video in the description. But I'm going to move on from Nex because I don't want to duplicate any clips. So let's get back to Slayer. And by Slayer, I meant Slayeradoman, because apparently we sent a random Sarah trip for a bingo that we had, and we managed to get the Saradoman hilt from one trip. Zuck task completed. And here's another purple from the Chambers of Zerich, and sadly an arcane. Still hunting the Kodai. And there is 180 million strength experience, and into the Black Tourmaline Core number 4 at 1,701 kill count. And I'm back at it again with another core, 1926 KC, core number 5. And it's been a while since I've shown a skilling milestone. I'm still always skilling on the side. I just do PVM when I'm actually at the PC, and when I need to AFK, I always set up at the shooting stars. We've been here from 50 million, and now we are 80 million. So we've done about 30 million mining experience at shooting stars at 30k an hour, and we've managed to amass over 1 million Stardust. So look forward to a massive gem bag opening video in the future. 2000 Grotesque Guardian KC, still no jar and no pet. Whenever I get bored, I just send a Cox. So here's another challenge mode raid and a purple. And we got our third, I believe, ancestral hat. Zuck task completed. Another dragon pickaxe, pretty useless item. Then into another dragon pickaxe not too long later at 5400 KC. And let's go! Another purple from Chambers of Zerich. Alright, we're looking for the Kodai. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be Chambers of Zerich completed. Unlucky. Another pair of claws. And it finally happened. We got the Calfight Queen pet. This is my 29th pet. The last one was the Prime pet. But that's it for Calfight Queen. I'm going to block this task from now on and never do it again. And you can see the log here. We have the pet, 45 heads, 3 jars, 18 dragon two-handers, 54 dragon chain bodies. A bunch of these came from Dust Devils and I think Thermi dropped. Does Thermi drop them too? Yeah, I believe so. And then 8 pickaxes. So quite a few pickaxes as well from here. And here is my first DC clip of the video. We DC'd at Supreme while we were one tick flicking prey range. So if we happened to DC on the tick, our prey range was off, we'd be tanking hits off prayer. And I actually set my teleport crystal, this is a mistake I made, I set my teleport crystal to like 8 seconds here because I kept getting teleported out at Rex because Rex is so AFK and the spin lops would always proc it. That means if I range prayer is actually off, I would tank Supreme for 8 seconds before being teleported. And I've reconnected at 67 HP, which I think means I did actually tank Supreme off prayer because Spinlops I don't think would do 30 damage in 8 seconds. So I got lucky today. And another Zuck task. We already know how this ends. This ends with no pet. That's 82 kill count. And since the Nightmare Zone shop is pretty useless for Iron Men, I've decided I'm just going to spend all my extra points on imbuing Dagonoth rings. I can save 4 bank space by imbuing each ring, not having one of each kind in the bank. So I'm going to use my 200 million points that I've saved up from getting 200 mil attack in Nightmare Zone, and I'm going to use that on all my rings and all my future rings and work towards 100 of each ring. And here's a little update on the clue caskets that we have accumulated so far this video. We've gotten 37 beginners, 91 mediums, 131 hards, 74 elites, and 1 master. So Varlamore has been released, and with that has come a new best in slot hunter training method for hardcores, that being the Hunter Rumors. And I'm going to be doing it probably all the way to 200 mil in the long term. But right now I'd like to try to get the Quetzin pet. And it didn't actually take too long. We got the Quetzin pet on 247 KC. And we actually managed to get the Quetzin pet before we got the full Hunter outfit. And my short-term goal is to just try to do as many Hunter Rumors as I can while it's broken, get the full Hunter Rumor outfit, and maybe open a couple thousand Hunter loot sacks because of the prayer experience, the herb experience, and all that. And so I got a little addicted to the Hunter Rumors. Just was having too much fun with it and I just couldn't stop. So I've got 558 loot sacks here to open. So here is the loot from over 500 Hunter loot sacks. All right, you caught me. I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. I got another 1,000 loot sacks to open. I promise. After this opening, no more Hunter Rumors, okay? You have my word. After this, I'm going to go back to PVM, and I actually have a certain boss in mind that I've never done on this account before, and it's probably the most dangerous one yet. And if you guessed the Gauntlet, you would be correct. This is my first time ever stepping into the Gauntlet on this account. I never really bothered because I had a T-bow already when it was released, and I never really needed a Bofa. However, I could benefit from having the Blade of Seldor. In fact, I think it's a little better than the Fang that I'm currently using at the Grotesque Guardians. So since Grotesque Guardians isn't going to give me the pet anytime soon, I thought maybe it's time to upgrade our slash weapon. We just have to somehow get ourselves a enhanced crystal weapon seed without dying. I think the weapon seed drop from the Hunt Lift is like 1 in 2,000. It's something super rare, so we're not going to bother killing the regular Gauntlet. we're going to do the Corrupted Gauntlet. And I think we're probably the highest level hardcore to ever do the Corrupted Gauntlet. I don't think anyone has done it past 2 bill XP. And obviously I'm going to do the tier 3 prep. That's what all smart hardcores do. They prep tier 3 because it's very safe. The max hits are reduced. Your defense is increased. Your damage is increased. So it's just an all-around better idea. One of the other reasons why I held off doing the Gauntlet for so long was because it was pretty clunky on release. Since then, it's gotten a lot of quality of life updates. Most recently, I believe with the DC Crystal being able to be used in the Gauntlet, it's made it a lot safer for hardcores. Well, there's 2 possible outcomes in the next video. We either get the Enhanced Crystal Weapon Seed, or we die trying. Do you see my hits right now? Can this thing die already? Well, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Next episode, we'll go for the Blade of Seldor on the rank 4 Hardcore. And I spent this last week at shooting stars so I could edit this video, so if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and make sure you're subscribed. Bye!